Hello humans, I'm the TheAlienDoctor, but you can call me Alien, and welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock Edition beta / preview video. Today, we are going to be taking a look at Minecraft beta version 1.18.30.20 or preview version 1.18.30.21 because they both have different version numbers, because that's totally not confusing. Anyway, now this beta has got an absolute ton of various different things in it, including quite a decent amount of parity stuff, so that of course Bedrock Edition is more like Java Edition and vice versa, and yeah, that is very, very exciting. And of course we're going to be covering all of the notable features in today's video. So without further ado, let's get started. Now the first change is actually one that's locked behind experimental features, and that is the wild update toggle. So basically, they've made some adjustments to the skulk things that I'll show you in a second. Of course, to get these in your world, you're going to need to activate the wild update experimental toggle. This will basically add anything that's to do with the wild update into your world that is in the preview. So these changes are that the skulk shrieker has been tweaked ever so slightly, which is of course this one. So it will now actually get affected by the skulk sensor, which will then activate it. It will give you the darkness effect, as you can see, and of course it will summon the warden when the warden is added. The warden has already been added to Java Edition experimental snapshots if you do want to take a look at what it's like. Now before we get into any more changes, I thought I would also take a look at some news that has recently released, and the only place I can really find this is actually on Twitter from one of the devs in Ed. I'm never sure if I'm saying that right, hopefully I am. But fun fact Friday, Minecraft on PC is uniting. As an effect of the account migration, you will be able to play both editions of Minecraft if you own at least one of them. We will continue maintaining both editions as before. Stay tuned for more info. Now, of course, opening up the Minecraft Java Edition launcher real quickly, you can see here that this has probably been planned for quite a while, judging by the fact that Minecraft Java Edition and Minecraft Bedrock Edition have actually both been in the Java Edition launcher, or just the Minecraft launcher now. We don't even have to say Java Edition. And yeah, that's quite nice. And of course, Dungeons is here as well, although I don't know if it actually works in Dungeons. I don't know if you can launch it from this launcher or not, but yeah, I mean, either way, it is very, very cool to see this a thing. So it means that if you own Bedrock Edition, you can get Java Edition, and if you own Java Edition, you can get Bedrock Edition, which is great. I know a lot of people are going to like that. So they have tweaked the way that villagers and things like that generate into the world. So now the surrounding terrain will actually be slightly adjusted to allow things like this to not happen as often, and basically villagers are just going to look a lot more nicer and a lot less broken, because obviously sometimes when villagers generate in the terrain goes all weird and stuff, whereas hopefully now they should all be normal and that sort of thing, or at least as normal as possible. This is probably an example that will hopefully be fixed in this actual beta. This village was generated way before this beta, but yeah, anyway. So next we have a change to do with how the game actually handles TNT. When TNT explode, game rule is off, but the fire tick game rule is on. So as you can see here, if we disable TNT explodes with, of course, fire tick set to on, then you can see here when we actually light this TNT, well, it just simply does not work. And of course, when we have TNT enabled, of course, the TNT will actually explode. Now, in comparison over here on the latest release, when you have fire tick on and TNT explodes off, it's meant to disappear, and it did disappear, but it took a while to disappear. It's kind of weird. Is that what it means? Because it's disappearing? Because I thought that when you try to blow up... Okay, I don't really know what's going on with this bug fix. It's kind of confused me a little bit. Basically, I light the TNT. There we go. Now it's disappearing, like how I thought it was meant to. Okay, whatever. Maybe that's the bug fix. I'm kind of confused about this one. Let me know in the comment section if you understand it better. And this is Alien from the future, coming in whilst I'm actually editing this video, as you can see, because I thought I'd actually take a look at the bug report. I don't know why I didn't do this. I actually recorded this straight after waking up pretty much, which is also why I may have morning voice in earlier parts of this video. But anyway, basically, and I'll put a video on screen right now, what actually happens is that it's actually to do with when an arrow or a trident that goes through lava hits the TNT, as opposed to just lighting it with flint and steel. They didn't really put that very clearly on the changelog, so I didn't really understand it. And I didn't really think to check the bug report, so it's kind of my fault, it's also kind of their fault, I don't know. Anyway, back on with the video, I guess. So quite a nice change now is that blazing creative mode are no longer pushed by any liquid, so that includes water, like I am right now, and also lava, when they're actually in the fly mode. So as you can see here, we've got some flowing water, and as you can see, it's not pushing me. If I go out of fly mode, then you can see here that it of course is. Fly mode isn't. Not fly mode is. It's just really nice quality of life feature, especially if you are somebody that spends a lot of time in creative mode. And that is of course a vanilla parity feature, and that's what quite a lot of the rest of these features are now going to be as well. So a change to do with farmer villagers now. Farmer villagers can actually use bone meal on their crops to turn excess seeds into bone meal at their composter, which is quite cool, and that's actually a thing that was in Java Edition that I didn't even know about. So you, my good sir, should be able to use bone meal and also make bone meal as well. So enjoy your new bone meal powers. So diamond armor and netherite armor now have a toughness value of 2 and 3 respectively. So of course diamond armor has a toughness value of 2 and netherite has a toughness value of 3. And they've also tweaked the armor reduction calculation to account for said toughness. I don't know why that's listed as 2 separate changes. Netherite armor will now also reduce more damage than diamond armor. So there was a bug apparently beforehand where they would actually reduce the same amount of damage, whereas now netherite will actually reduce more damage than diamond, like how it should be. That's actually a vanilla parity, not even a bug, which is kind of strange. They've also lowered the amount of knockback resistance that netherite has to match Java Edition, which is kind of a shame. So netherite is more OP in protection, but now less OP in the knockback resistance. And also, punching deals less damage now to better match Java Edition. Just as a little side note that's mildly related to these. Also, all of the various protection books now actually work against most different types of damage. That's all it says in the changelog. I'm assuming it means things like fire damage and explosion damage and things like that. So protection books, or enchantment to be more specific, should now work against more of those different types when of course on armor, if that makes sense. So they fixed a bug on the glow squid's texture where the glow map in the alpha channel was incorrect, causing patches of non-glowing textures to be seen. And it's kind of hard to notice, but I will put a screenshot on screen now from the bug tracker. Basically, these glow squids will now all be glowy and not just certain patches which previously were not glowy. It's kind of weird. I'll put a screenshot on screen as I said just now. So previously, if you had the outline selection disabled like I do now, then the crosshair may actually disappear. So that has actually been fixed. And the crosshair will no longer disappear when you're using when you're not using outline selection. And as you can see here, this basically just makes the block sort of like glow, I guess, when you're selecting it, although it looks kind of funky on things like grass and stuff. It's good for showing hitboxes though, isn't it? I guess, maybe. Actually, maybe not, judging by that. But still, I mean, I personally am not a massive fan of this. If you're perhaps playing on mobile, I'm pretty sure it's default. But mobile also doesn't have a crosshair by default, so you know. So players that are now on fire will render said fire in front of the player on the inventory screen, regardless of in-game camera perspective. So I believe what was happening is if you're, let's say, on third person and you open your inventory, the way the fire would be rendered in your inventory would be like kind of weird and broken. So now apparently that should be fixed, and I mean everything looks normal in all of these different camera perspectives. Like the fire is definitely rendered in front of me, and you actually see it's rendered quite a lot in front of me that it kind of looks like I'm not on fire and that I'm just stood behind fire, if you get what I mean. So Ravagers will now actually target wandering traders. So as you can see, that guy, wow. That wandering trader just went invisible, but yeah, you can see here that the Ravager is actually like going after that wandering trader. So technically you could use Ravagers to make a wandering trader farm, but it wouldn't really be that effective just because of the way wandering traders spawn. But you know, I mean, at least it's still a thing that we can do, and you can just see here. What happens if we place in a ton of these guys and then place in one wandering trader? Okay, there we go. Now they can get him. Because beforehand, obviously, the wandering trader, and well, it still does actually go invisible before the Ravager can really attack. But I mean, Ravagers will still go after the wandering trader either way. And the wandering trader is actually fairly fast as well, which is interesting. I don't know why, I'm just having way too much fun with this. So mobs that are now spawned using a dispenser with a spawn egg inside will actually be persistent, which basically means they won't despawn even if you go out of their simulation distance. This change is very, very useful for things like creative maps, where mobs may be spawned, and yeah, you don't really want them to despawn. So a bug fix to do with cartographers now, and this is actually a fix to a feature I didn't even realize already existed, but that is they will now actually have the Woodland Explorer map trade, like always will be there. So previously what would happen is you wouldn't have this trade, you'd only have the Ocean Explorer map. So as you can see, the first trade is normally paper for emeralds and then emeralds for an empty map, and the second trade is normally something like this, where you'll have the Ocean Explorer map, which will always be the second trade, or the level 2 second trade. And then on the level 3 second trade, the bug fix is basically that the Woodland Explorer map will always be the second trade on the level 3. And this is a map that basically leads you to a woodland mansion, and that's actually the same for the Ocean Explorer map. The Ocean Explorer map will of course lead you to an ocean monument. Previously, the Woodland Explorer map sometimes just wouldn't be a trade when it's meant to be a trade every single time. Of course, this is to do with the cartographer, so you need to make sure that you have a cartography table to get that trade. This is actually quite a nice feature that I didn't even realize existed, and it does kind of mean that things like chunk base aren't as necessary, especially if you don't want to use chunk base, because you may find it cheating. And that is going to be it for today's Minecraft Bedrock Edition preview/beta video. If you're interested in more Minecraft Bedrock Edition content like this, then feel free to like and subscribe today to join the Alien Empire. YouTube recommends that you might like one of these videos on screen right now, so maybe go give it a click and, you know, see what it's all about. Other than that, thank you ever so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video coming very, very soon. Bye.